The question swirling in Baltimore is John Harbaugh and this coaching staff the reason to blame for the Ravens' struggles to start off this season? We're going to go around the NFL and hear from some of the top NFL analysts, and then also some people in the NFL, including one head coach that the Ravens just saw here in Baltimore, and try to put the pieces together. So stay tuned for all of that and a lot more. And if you're new to the channel, hit that like and subscribe button. Ryan Ripken Show. We're live every Monday, Thursday, and Sunday right here on YouTube. But let's dive into this, right? So the Ravens coming off a tough game at home against the Lions where, look, the Lions are one of the best teams in the NFL for a reason. They're a Super Bowl contender. They're going out there and going to play some good ball on a week-to-week basis. But in Baltimore, and with the roster that the Ravens have, you think that should still be in their favor. They should win this game, be 2-1. But so far now, the Ravens have had opportunities where they just haven't been able to finish the game, or they've been put in some really tough situations. But let's talk about this Lions game. And Chris Canty was on ESPN radio talking about his feelings with the Ravens, and he didn't hold back on the Ravens or John Harbaugh. So here's that clip.
They got bullied from pillar to post.
Ooh. And that doesn't happen normally for that team.
That never happens in Baltimore, ever. Last night we saw something that we've never seen before. The Baltimore Ravens gave up 224 yards rushing. It's the most since week 6 of 2017. The Baltimore Ravens were held under 100 yards rushing for the second week in a row, which has never happened in the Lamar Jackson era of Ravens football. Right now, what we're about to do the next 10 minutes is give you the anatomy of an ass whipping, because that's what happens. And I'm calling people out by name today because I'm upset.
Oh.
So those defensive tackles, Travis Jones, Broderick Washington, John Jenkins, Brent Urban, y'all got manhandled by some pups from the Detroit Lions. They had issues at the guard position. There's been turnover on the interior of that offensive line. Guess what? They had no issues last night. They was running those double team blocks, that duo play, and they was making them love it. As my former coach, Clarence Brooks, God rest his soul, would always say, they were making you love it, big fella. Making you love it. Making you love it. Rubbing your nose in it. You knew what was coming. Smalls, the worst feeling in football is when you know they're going to run the ball. They know you know that they're going to run the ball. And as a defense, ain't a damn thing you can do to stop it. That's what they got last night from David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs.
Yeah.
I know that everybody gets caught up in the fluff and the trick plays and the option at the goal line from Amon-Ra St. Brown to Jahmyr Gibbs. That's a cute play. The throwback to Jared Goff, and then he throws a strike downfield. That's a cute play. But what it really was is running straight at you, no fair dodging. And there was not a damn thing the Baltimore Ravens could do about it. The players didn't do anything about it. The coaching staff didn't get any answers for it. And that's an embarrassment for John Harbaugh and his bunch.
So let's fire Chris Canty, and I think a lot of Ravens fans out there are frustrated with the overall performance. But I think I want to emphasize at the end there, Chris Canty wasn't just talking about the coaching staff. He was talking about players going out to make plays, which kind of leads into this next point where Marcus Spears was talking about the Ravens, where it's not just about the X's and the O's. You got to go out there and make some plays. So here's Marcus Spears talking on First Take about going out there and executing.
Has took chances on fourth downs to give his teams opportunities to win. If he doesn't do it, people gonna want him fired for that. He's had to revamp defenses. Coordinators have moved on, and he's still remained relevant as a team. This team in the regular season has been one of the best teams over the last 5 years as anybody. That got a lot to do with your coaching. And I get it that the playoffs matter, and we obviously get to that point of the season, and we clear the records, and everything starts over. But if you told me that John Harbaugh was going to be the head coach of this football team at the beginning of the season, you like your chances to have an opportunity to win something big. Now, I get it. You have to figure out a way to not be this bad on defense. You have to figure out a way in playoff games to not only get Derrick Henry more touches, but for him to be more effective. Because I'm still reeling from the AFC Championship game against Kansas City when they refused to give him the ball to be very, very good, that he's dropped the ball on getting what needs to be done at that point in time. But I will not have a conversation about John Harbaugh reaching his ceiling with the Baltimore Ravens, and they're going to make the playoffs this year again. Trust me when I say that. And they're going to be a formidable team when they get in the playoffs, and the players have to come through, not John Harbaugh coaching.
So I was trying to get to those points there where, yes, coaching does help to an extent, no doubt about it, right? You got good play callers. You see the good schemes being put out there. When we talk about getting out coached, all that matters. But also, what also matters is guys going out there and they got to walk the walk. You can have the best game plan out there, but if you don't go out there and execute, you're going to get in trouble. And it's not just about your overall team. Your best guys got to show up. They got to set the tone of what they can do and go out there and be the impact guys. So I wanted to play this next clip because I think that this embodies what my point, at least, that I want to try to get across. Dan Campbell, head coach of the Detroit Lions, man, they came in, they kicked some ass in Baltimore. But listen to how he describes his best players when they go out to practice. So I want to play this clip first, and then we're going to talk about it here in a second.
Our best players are hardest workers. Go out and watch them practice, and it's like that every day. And so that's the standard. That's the standard. So if you're not up to that standard with the effort matching what our best players do, then you're not going to be around here very long. So that makes the rest of your guys, everybody just falls in line. Anybody that comes in or we acquire, the young guys, all of it, man. And that's the way we play. That's what we do.
So that quote is not about that. I don't think for a second that the Ravens don't practice hard at all. I want to emphasize that. This is more about the point with the Detroit Lions of saying their best players set the tone, set the standard. The game on Monday night in Baltimore, the best players for the Detroit Lions made the most important plays of the game. So if you don't believe me, well, let's first off go to this. And this is Next Gen Stats had this stat out there. The Lions did not turn the ball over. They allowed 0 sacks. They made the optimal decisions on every 4th down, and they only missed 4 tackles on defense. Meanwhile, the Ravens finished with 1 turnover and another on downs and allowed 7 sacks, and they missed 20 tackles. 20. So that's me right there. 20 tackles, 20 opportunities. Any player is going to tell you on the field, if they can make a play and they miss making the play, they're not going to point to the coach. They're going to say, I got to make that play. Now, the other part that I wanted to mention here, we talk about best players and they made the best plays on the field. Amon-Ra St. Brown to me is one of the best wide receivers. I would put him in the top 3. I'm not saying the most freakishly talented, like you look at Jamar Chase and you look at Justin Jefferson, those guys. But Amon-Ra, what makes him, for me, a top receiver in the game, he blocks extremely well. He puts his nose in there. He's a great route runner, and he is so smart with what he wants to do. And on Monday night, that's one of the Detroit Lions' best players. And he was up against one of the Ravens' best players in Marlon Humphrey on a 3rd down situation, or 4th down, and on a touchdown earlier in the game. And Amon-Ra won both of those plays and were deciding factors. And if we're going to go to the other side of the ball, Aiden Hutchinson, one of the Detroit Lions' best players, arguably their best defensive player, high motor, keeps going, and he makes the impact play, causing the fumble on Derrick Henry, which ultimately really shifted the game moving forward. So the best players on the Lions, they set the tone in that game, and they made the best plays of that night. And unfortunately, the same can't be said for the Ravens. Now, like, this is football, this is sports, and that's the reality. You got to go out there and you got to walk the walk. For the Ravens, they didn't walk the walk. And this was a brand of football that's why fans are having that question of, well, what's the problem here? Is it coaches? Is it players? Well, there's probably a mixture, but one clip I wanted to play really quickly was old Bengals head coach and former Ravens defensive coordinator Marvin Lewis joined the show earlier about a couple weeks ago and talked about when things don't go right, what you have to do and what you do as a coaching staff as well. So let me play that clip for you guys real quick.
Spoke with Ozzie, while the Ravens were in training camp, and he's like, schedule makers, they put them in Buffalo to begin the season, and it's crazy. This week we got the Eagles in Kansas City, so how they do it, and TV's making a splash, and but yet you as a coach, John had to get that team ready to play. And just like, Sean on the other side, but win or lose, they still have 16 other games to go forward with. Mm-hmm. And they're going to put that one just counts as one. It's an AFC game, but it just counts as one. And then they've got to put it behind them and move forward. And that's the case. But
So that was Marvin Lewis saying you got to move past it. And that was after they lost to the Bills on opening week of the NFL season. Now here's Marvin talking about what the coaching staff has to do. They are trying to find and work out. There's so much that goes into it. Could you just try to explain a little bit of those intricacies of trying to figure things out when you feel like your performances should be better?
Well, you really do. You're as a coach, you turn over every rock, every stone. And early in my coaching career, I was coaching at the University of New Mexico, and the basketball coach, Gary Colson, he'd had some experience, to say the least. And Gary came in the coach's dressing room one day, and he says, when you're struggling to win a game, people on the outside don't understand this, but you're doing your best coaching because you are turning every rock, every stone in order to figure out a way to come out and be 1 point ahead. And that's the truth of the matter, the grind that it takes.
The grind that it takes, and you're going to have to turn over every stone to figure out what can happen. And for right now, the Ravens have to do a little bit of soul searching, because right now, going into the season, they were considered with the Philadelphia Eagles of having one of the most talented, if not the most talented roster in the NFL. And right now, Philly's found a way, despite it not being pretty, but they found a way to win each of their 3 games. Baltimore has 2 pretty gut-wrenching losses. The one in Buffalo where he had the lead, which that's for a different feeling, and then the one against Detroit where that just hurt in a different way because you got bullied and you got beat at home by a more physical, more well-rounded team that made more plays. Now, moving forward, though, you got to have faith in this team. I'm with Marcus Spears. I'm with everyone that has the expectation that the Ravens are going to go places and they're going to be tough to beat. And they have the talent. And I know that they're banged up inside on the defensive line. That's why they made some moves, and you hope the best for Madubuike. And it's not, the sense isn't great with his injury with his neck. I just hope the best for him moving forward. But can the Ravens get back in this, especially defensively? Absolutely. They got the guys. They got the pieces. And I mean, right now, look at what the Ravens did. And this was on the Up and Adams show, this graphic. Scoring defense last year, total defense, pass defense, all those numbers right there that you see. First 10 weeks of the season, they were one of the worst in football. But the last 6 weeks, they were number 1 across the board. The thing for Baltimore is, can you continue to learn and get better? And if you can, and I believe that they will, you can get on a roll and go out there and turn a lot of heads. It's a long season, but for where the Ravens are right now, it's more than just one player, one coach that is why this hasn't gotten off to the right start. But can they get to where they want to go with the players that they have and the coaches that they have? Yeah, I think so. But time's going to tell. And we'll see what happens. But hey, if you like this video, hit that like and subscribe button and join us. If you want to see more guests like Marvin Lewis, we've had some great guests on the past, and we have a lot more great guests in the future. But hit that like and subscribe, and I'll talk to you soon.